What is up, everybody? My name is Andrew, and welcome back to Space Engineers Survival 2025. This is episode number 31, and last episode we worked on this cool little solar tower here off to the left. We built up most of it. It's hard to see because it's a little dark, but the sun is coming up, so we should have the sun in a bit. But that's what we did last episode. In this episode, we're going to be working on that, as well as filling out the base with blocks that need to be filled out, which is something I had planned to do last episode, but we didn't get around to doing the full thing. In addition to that, off camera, I went through and I removed the middle tower, and I moved the left and the right towers to a little bit closer to the center. So they're now evenly spaced away from the center here, and I think I really like how this is looking. I added a little bit of blue light along the side, so I plan to do that with those two towers as well. This one over there and this one over there, and then we're probably going to completely remove that final tower there. So we're going to end up with just having 4 solar towers and wind towers, and then we're going to have 2 solar towers, one being on this side to the right as well. So we're going to do that in this episode, but we're also going to go over to our little ice lake over there where that silicon is, a little bit past that, and we're going to put in an ice mining facility. We have a little base out there that we took over a couple episodes back, and we need to turn that into an ice mining facility that can mine ice for us, and all we'll have to do is we'll just fly over to it every now and then and pick up the ice and pretty much use it on the base because we're completely out of ice here. But one thing that's good is we do have a lot of power. We're not fully recharged here, but fully recharged in 10 minutes. Not bad at all. So yeah, the wind turbines here and the solar panel are doing pretty well at their job. So yeah, we're gonna do those things today. I think what we're gonna start with is something a little bit simple. Let's start with the inside of the base because it's light in here and it's dark out there, at least for the next few minutes while the sun comes up. So let's go inside the base here and let's try and weld up all these blocks along with, what is that? Is that just a place that goes nowhere? Yeah, okay, it just goes right there. I think that's when we were trying to connect that little area right there with this area. We went a little bit too far that way, but we're gonna go ahead and build out the floor here. So I think let's put this block in, and then we're gonna put essentially the wall on top of it like that, and we're gonna continue with that. So it's gonna become sort of a room right here that goes all the way to that wall. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna need quite a few steel plates here. So we're trying to grab superconductors. Let's grab as many steel plates as we can here, and let's start building up some of this stuff. So the interior stuff is stuff that I don't mind doing by hand because it would be very difficult to get the welder beast inside here. I mean, it's possible it could get in through right there, but it's fine to just build this stuff by hand, I think. Let's go ahead and right-click mine out some of this as well. I'm gonna put blocks on top of this, so I don't really mind this being a little bit covered by the blocks, but at least for some of this, I would like to get it mined out. So we have a nice area. We're gonna mine it out just until pretty much there. Let's go a little bit this way. And there we go. That's our room essentially that we're trying to get. Put that right there, put one right there. Let's mine out this block, and that should be just enough for us to put this final one in right here. So there's that one, and let's get all those welded up as well. Just run through with our welder. We have a tier 3 welder for a reason. Let's go ahead and use it. Okay, we'll get a couple more blocks here. Oh, off camera, I did a little bit of work here too. So this used to be right there. It was a combo between a conveyor and a cargo container right here. I moved them to the side because I want to have this kind of be clear, just in case a vehicle comes off here and needs to drive onto the bridge here. It would make a little bit more sense. I put a refill station right here as well, but I need superconductors for that. So we don't have any gold. This episode, it would be a good idea to grab some gold while we're at it if we find it easy. And I think we will because the gold is over by where the ice lake is. So we should be able to pretty easily grab some while we're over there. Let's go ahead and put this wall up, and I want to mine out a little bit of this as well. Just a little bit, not too much. There we go. And that should be good. So put that up right there. Mine this one out so I can build that up. And same here. This is me not liking having half unwelded blocks in the structure of the base. And honestly, there's not a big deal with having unwelded blocks in the structure of the base. Like those right there are likely going to become unwelded blocks, but I don't care. So sometimes I don't care and sometimes I care. I don't know why that is the case. But anyway, let's mine a little bit of this again. Okay, I think I like that. So let's run through and weld all this stuff. We have our work cut out for us. So let's go ahead and do it. Shouldn't take too long, just a couple trips to the old cargo container here. Grab maximum steel plates. We can just scroll down here and then kabam. I do have the production automatically going on here, but it looks like we may have run out of iron. Let me see. Maybe we haven't. Hang on. Yeah, we haven't quite run out of iron. We're still processing a little bit of it. And I don't think our ores has iron either. Yeah, our ores doesn't even have any ores. It just has radio components. Okay, it's fine. We still have a little bit of iron, and we have a lot of steel plates left over, so we can at least build up all this stuff. And of course, remember, the goal is by episode 35, which is the episode we're going to be going to space. So not this episode, not the next episode, not the next episode, but the episode after that is going to be episode 35. We're gonna be going to space, and our goal is to have everything welded up that we have on the base. So all these things right here welded up, all of that welded up, all of those welded up, everything welded up, so that when we do come back here one day, we're gonna have a nice fully welded base, a clean slate of projects so we don't have to pretty much start from an unfinished project. Okay, let's weld up a couple more of these, and I did see the sun coming up outside, so we're getting close to the time where we can go outside and do a little bit of work. All right, we're almost there. Just coming around with these blocks here. We probably need one more trip. Yep, just one more trip here to grab a couple more blocks, and we'll be good on at least this section here. But here's those blocks welded up. This is looking a little bit nicer. It looks a little bit more professional now when you come down here. Okay, I like that. Now what I think I want to do is, I want to try and figure out like a roof situation here. Maybe something like, let me see, what do I want to do? I could do that. That wouldn't be bad. I'm thinking for this side, I want to do something like this, where I use these blocks here, these little curved ones. Maybe like that. And I think that would end up looking pretty good. Let me see if I can grab a couple of those. Yeah, something like this would look cool. Oops, I put another one that I didn't need. Did I get enough for 4? Let's find out. So I think this fits pretty well with the door here. They kind of have this little walkway in here. And of course, I guess it doesn't make as much sense because this doesn't have that same siding, but I don't know. I mean, we could also put it on this side if we wanted to. Let's see. Should we? I don't know, maybe something like that. And then have that be like another room or something. I don't know. Or maybe just the 3. Like you have the 3 right there, the 3 right there. And then, because I think, let me go back to that block here. You can do the 3 right there, coming back around. Okay. I think now we're cooking. Okay, we'll run out of them a little bit. All right, weld that one, weld this one, and weld this one. Okay, so now you have something like this. Our energy is a little bit low, it's fine. Now what I'm thinking is we run something like this. Okay, so you grab an inset light. Maybe you do 1 right there. So let me grab 2. Or enough for a bunch of them, actually. So we'll go 1 right there. Then you'll switch to a standard block. A little interior wall of the sci-fi variety. And then right back to that light. And now you have something special. Let's see. Okay, we'll throw those up there. Throw those up there as well. And let's build it all up. Get it all built. Yeah, it's basically the same stuff required for these. So let me right click one of these and then do a control middle mouse button. That's gonna get, oh, hi. What's up? Which one are you? Buzz. Okay, let's get all these welded up. I was not able to get some of the construction components, it looks like, which saddens me greatly. Actually, funny enough, I was able to get the construction components for some of these, but not all of them. Oh, Buzz was able to help me out though. Thank you, Buzz. Okay, there's the rest of that. We'll build that guy up, this guy up, and this guy up. And now, check that out. I mean, obviously I need to change the lighting a little bit. So let's give it like a nice, I don't know, one of those. Go ahead and copy that to there. And now we have a nice little pathway that goes into here, which I think looks pretty good. Then you can use the rest of this for like a little bathroom or, you know, something, whatever you want to do, basically. I'm gonna throw some normal steel plate up here. And I'll need a couple steel plates for this. Yeah, I have no clue what I'm gonna do with this area, honestly. Let me put this in here though. But there we go. And now that's looking a little bit better. So now we have almost a fully welded area here. Let me put that in. And I don't know, I'll put that in as well. I don't know how many blocks we want to weld up here. I'll use all the rest of my steel plates on this, why not?
Energy critical.
Yep, there they all are. Okay, I'm gonna fly to the top so I can refill my energy so that we don't run out here, because we're about to start on what is going to be the windmill migration. Because I like where those 2 ones that were blue are, but the other ones need to shift as well. I'm not actually gonna grab a full load of those, Just gonna grab a bunch of them. Okay, so these two are fine. I like where they're sitting right now, but we need to move these guys a little bit closer, or rather we need to remove that guy and remove this guy a little bit closer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out to about here. I had pre-positioned this one, but I haven't done the other side. And I think this is how many blocks? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 in between these. And I'm fine with there being 18, which means we're gonna need to do the same on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 1, because that's where the middle block's gonna go. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna move that to there, and we're gonna move that to there, basically, and let's get going here. So the way that I did this is I actually went one higher than the previous blocks, because instead of having these down here, I'm gonna move these up onto the main surface. I think it's gonna be a little bit better. Okay, so this is gonna be our tower, and I'm gonna make sure I weld this middle block here, and then throw that up there. So let's get a windmill. Wind turbines. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. And here is going to be 4. That might provide a little bit of shadow on these, which is unfortunate. I think these guys, well, no, they're actually not all getting a lot of power yet. Actually, these guys are not. But that's fine. That's just kind of the nature of being where it is. All right, one last windmill. Throw it right there. And we now have a tower fully windmillized. Now all we need to do is make it look nice like the other one is. And it's not too difficult to make it look like this. All we did is we did a steady center block. Then we did just normal steel plate blocks on this side with lights going up. We did a ladder on this side, although this one doesn't quite have the ladder yet. I haven't put it in yet. And then this side has the more complex side, which is just the pipes, as well as right here. I'm gonna change what goes down here as well in a second. Or actually, no, yeah, I am gonna change what's there. All right, let's start giving the middle its blocks. All right, there's the core of the entire thing. I wonder if I can do I have enough steel plates to do all these? Not quite, but we got most of it there. So let's put on the front right there as well. So I did the other 2 towers by hand. I did not use the Weldabeast to do it. I just did it off camera, kind of with like some music going. I just plopped all those blocks there and did a couple trips to weld them up. So I don't know, maybe we'll do this one by hand, or maybe we'll go grab the Weldabeast for it. One of the important parts of these towers is that they do have to extend to the ground. That's important, because otherwise, if the bridge gets destroyed, they'll just fall, which is what I do not want. So we'll extend them to the ground like that. And then same with those ones over there. This one right here is extending to the ground, although it doesn't have his lights positioned yet. So we're gonna throw a light right there, right there. All right, there's that other tower completely removed. So let's do what's gonna be on this side now. So on this side, I like to do these beam blocks. So I'm gonna go in with not one of these, but one of these, if I can find it. These ones right here. These ones, yeah. So we go in like that, and then on this side, kind of come down like that, and then we do the half beam blocks. Then for the ladder going up, what I was doing was this, and then I'd skip 2, and then another one, skip 2, another one, skip 2, another one, and then for this one right here, I just remove this, and then put one upside down so you have somewhere to stand on. Okay, then let's do a normal ladder, and this is going to require interior plates, so let's grab a couple interior plates as well. There's our interior plates, so we'll fill out some of these areas with these. And then one right there. Perfect. Okay. So finally, along this side here, we're gonna go through and add in some of these. Just some pipework blocks to kind of fill it out a little bit. Perfect. And then a couple of these angled blocks as well to help out. All right, with all those blocks in there, the only thing we're missing is gonna be the lights. So let's go ahead and stick some of our inset lights in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have some going down, but I haven't done the down yet, so that's fine. All right, that is basically everything for this. The only thing we're missing would be some of the stuff up here. Like this gets removed and that gets removed. And instead we use some of these. All right, I would say this one right here is ready for the Weldabeast whenever we get around to it. Unfortunately, this guy right here is having a little bit of trouble. I don't know why, but I'm sure it'll fix itself eventually. That has happened to me before, and they do usually fix themselves. So let's do the same thing. We're gonna go 18 from this one. In fact, I think we already did right here. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't go any higher. Let's get all these. This is one problem I've had in a lot of my series. I think all three of the more recent series that I've done, we've always had these things that have been like half built for so long, and then they kind of stay half built until the end of the series, but not this time. This time we're gonna weld up everything before we take off. Okay, what are you? Okay, good. If a Reaver attacked us right now, I don't know what we would do. We'd probably have to, I mean, we do have a weapon ship up there, so I guess it's fine, but it doesn't have any working railguns, so that would be a bit of a problem. All right, I think I've got everything that I need on this one as well. Maybe I hold off on putting the windmills on, because they're gonna make it a little bit harder to weld. I mean, I can do the top windmill, that'll be fine. Let's go grab a wind turbine. I keep calling them windmills. A wind turbine, which generates power, as opposed to a windmill, which generates flour. One generates power, and one generates flour when provided with wheat. Okay, you're also stopped. Why are you stopped? I don't know, some of these guys are stopped, and I don't know why. But anyway, let's grab the Wildebeest, and let's get to work on these. So, what do we need for these? That's a good question. I know for a fact that we're gonna need lots of steel plates, so let's go to welder. Actually, let's go to this one. And what I wanna do is press G. Okay, I know I'm gonna need a bunch of all of these blocks right here. So now that I have them on my build planner, it's not the same exact ratio, but it should be fine, even if we get like something a little bit off. Let's go in here, let's go to weld cargo. And let's go control withdraw. And we're just gonna do that a couple times. Yeah, 5 times seems like the number of times we can do it. We're pretty capped at our capacity on this ship. So let's go ahead and disconnect from here. This thing does have the auto thrusters and stuff, so that's good. All right, let's run on over here to our tower. Oh, my voice is leaving me today. Let's run on over here to our tower and start welding. Okay, this should go pretty easily because we have all the stuff times probably 50, and it never told us that we were out of materials. So we should be good to just run down this and weld up everything we need. Now, I probably could have grabbed a couple more steel plates if I wanted to, but I think it'll be fine. We're not exactly getting those ladders in there, but that's okay. Let's try and get this front little facade here. We definitely have enough for the inset lights. I'm just worried about the steel plates, because I don't know that we brought enough steel plates for all this. All right, what are we missing? Anything over here? I think we might be missing one side here. And then once we have that side, it's pretty much done. I'm trying to get that one. There we go. Okay, we're barely able to get it. I think we put all the blocks in there, so it should be fine. Okay, so we got everything on this side, except for the ladders, because those are a little tricky to get into. But let's go to the other side and do the same thing. So I'm gonna start with the back side, which is a little bit trickier to do by hand, because that's containing all the non-steel plate stuff. And then if we can't do the front side, it'll still be fine. Let's come down here, weld up all this stuff. All right. Oh, this is gonna be tricky. Can we get this last few sets before we run into the wind turbine? Yes, nice. Okay, let's come around to the other side and see if we can get a little bit over there. So this is gonna be the side that has only steel plates, which should be a little easier to get. Let's start from the top and go down, because I know we have some that are under the bridge as well that I would like to weld up if possible. So let's see if we brought enough steel plates. So far, so good. We'll see how long this lasts, though. Yep, there we go. I'm liking that we're able to get all these lights done, these inset lights, because once we have them all done, we'll be able to just group them all up and say, hey, inset lights, I would like you all to share one color. And they'll all shine the same color, which would be very nice. Oh, there we go. It looks like we've run out of steel plates now. That's okay. I'll run through and do the other ones by hand. Okay, let's go ahead and take the Wildebeest back. Wildebeest did very well on this mission. It saved me a lot of time. It would have taken, I think each of these things would have taken me a good like 10 trips to get all the stuff welded. And so the Wildebeest definitely cut down on that a lot. All right, let's go ahead and connect this with number 7. It's actually a very easy connection. Usually I have a little bit of trouble finding the place to connect it. But nope, it did it pretty well there. All right, so what are we missing here? We were able to get all these ones, but then it's these ones right here, these little ladders that are a little tricky. Okay, so let's go ahead and right-click that ladder, And then right-click any of these other ones. Build planner capacity reach, really? Right-click any of those other ones that are noticeably unwelded. I have no idea if I'll be able to carry all this stuff in my inventory. The answer is no. We're just missing a couple of small steel tubes, though. It's not that bad. Go. Make sure we weld all this stuff. This is of the utmost importance because if there's an emergency on top of this windmill, how else will we get there? Never mind that we have a jetpack. I like to add ladders though because it makes it more realistic. For the same reason I don't like having a base floating and stuff. I like to have some structural support. Okay, let's go ahead and right click that. Those are the steel plates that we're missing. Is there anything else we're missing over here? Did we get... Yeah, we already did all this. We're just missing a couple steel plates up there. So let's get this and let's come back with a bunch of steel plates as well just so we can finish that up as well. Okay, so starting with the small steel tubes down here. Very nice. Moving on to the steel plates that are up here. And then we're also missing the actual windmills on this one. That would be probably an important thing. But what about this one over here? What were we missing over here? Were we missing those ladders? Yes, we were missing those ladders. But we're also missing these. Luckily, don't take a crazy amount of steel plates. Okay, here is the last remaining ladders for the other tower. So there's another ladder right there. And then just a couple more until we get to the bottom there. 1, 2, and 3. It's definitely no splitsy ladder to the moon, but it'll do. Okay, let's get these up here welded as well. And then what I want to do, because I don't know if I have enough steel plates to go crazy, is I want to de-weld this side first, because I know we're going to get rid of this tower and replace those wind turbines on this one over here. So let's go ahead and put those wind turbines in. So here's one, if I can place it. There's one, and here's 2. Let's weld those up. 1, 2. Then we just need number 3 and number 4. I'll go ahead and remove some of this, trim a little bit of the fat off of this tower here, make it easier to decommission later. Remove that one, and then let's remove a little bit of tower because it's no doubt going to be in the way right here. Okay, and let's get this built up. Another wind turbine. Oh, looks like we actually need one more even. An additional wind turbine to complete the set. Okay, let's bring this all the way back this way. Perfect. There's a little bit of armor for you as well. Very nice. Okay, one more wind turbine and we'll be good. Well, let's go ahead and steal one from here and put it on there. It's going to be very nice having a full. We'll have 4 full wind turbines. None of them are going to be bare bones. They're all going to be actually fully somewhat fully working, but none of them are going to be like bare bones like this, which is going to be nice. Remove this guy. A little bit of that, remove this guy, a little bit of that, and we'll come back for the rest of it here. Let's just go ahead and drop off some materials. All right, and finally, let's go ahead and get the rest of this. Goodbye, wind turbine. You were very nice for the moment that we had you and you were doing stuff. We built this only a couple episodes back as a prayer to solve our power problems. It did not really solve our power problems. It did help though, so that's good. Alrighty, there we go. So there they all are. 2 of them still having a little bit of trouble, but I think if I reload the game, here, let me do a quick reload to see if that solves it. So let's do a save and let's go ahead and reload. All right, we're back, and curiously, that one over there has started working while that one over there continues to not work. So you started working, why? Can I interview you real quick? What are you generating? You're really not generating a lot. You guys are generating quite a bit. I just don't know what you might be stuck on, though. Because clearly it's having a clearance issue with something, but nothing is really within its clearance zone to matter. And then you as well, you're having a clearance issue with something, and I don't know what it could be. Could it be that I just need to remove this and then like maybe turn this a little bit? Maybe position it in a different way, like that. Okay, well, anyway, it doesn't really matter that much. Let's get all the lights on the same page here real quick. So lights are pretty easy. All we need to do is run through, and any inset light that's not named should be one of the new ones. So let's go inset lights. So we have wind tower inset lights. So those are all these. I'm gonna copy one of their names, and then I'm gonna grab every inset light that's not yet a part of something. We're gonna make it a part of something with our new renaming tool. Place light, And let's go reload that because we need to go out of the screen to reload it. And let's do wind inset. Yep. Basically all of these are going to be named under the same thing. We'll go to our wind tower inset lights and we'll just jiggle the controls a little bit so it sets them to everything. Okay, and same with the intensity. We'll set it down to number 3. Okay, now all of them are going to be nice and blue, looking very good. Okay, so what I wanted to do with this area right here is I wanted to remove this and all of these as well. I don't like how we're doing it right there. I would rather us go directly underneath this and then stay kind of in the middle. So we'll stay in the middle and we'll go around each of these. I think that's a better way to do it. So for these under areas, we're gonna use a corridored windowed side. So same right here, we're gonna remove that and replace it with a corridor window side. And same with on this side, that's where we left that one clear. And same on this one, although maybe not on this one because we don't actually, and in fact, maybe not on that one either. Well, actually, we'll do on this one because we're probably going to end up having a path going out that way. So this one will be fine. I'm going to remove as many of these guys as I possibly can with my inventory. Let's do something like this. I think this is going to look cool if we use our angled blocks like this. Or maybe like that. Which one looks cooler? There we go. I kind of like this look a lot. Having these angled interior walls as the sides instead of doing what I was doing over here. And then I'll remove those. I'll remove this as well. And same thing over here. Remove all that. So here I'm just going to do normal blocks going out the middle. And then we'll have our angled interior wall blocks. We're out of interior plates. That's okay. I'd like to go ahead and remove you as well. I don't think I'll be able to remove you without using inventory. No! Okay. It's like long live the king on those parts. All right, let's put a couple more of these back and then let's grab some interior plates. That's what we want. And maybe girders. I'll grab 50 girders just in case we need those. Okay. All right, everything is positioned. Just need this right here as well to be welded up. Okay, everything is positioned. All we need now is the welder beast to come out here and weld up some of these blocks that we have along the side. And once we have all this will be the bridge. Looking pretty darn good. And this right here, I think, probably change into one of them. And then maybe this right here would also change into one of them. And maybe we'll continue it this way a tiny bit. I don't know. All right. I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, I don't know what to put here. Maybe I'll put one of these, like maybe just a standard block or something like that would look good there. And then same on this side. I don't know what to put. Do we have anything that would fit here? I don't know that we do. So maybe I would put just a standard. Oh, you know what I'll put here actually? Ooh, I know what I'll put here. Okay, that's going on a mission. Let me stop it from going on a mission there. Okay, so we'll have a beam go all the way up here, and I think that'll look pretty good to kind of tie the whole thing in together. Okay, so I think the Welder Beast has a little bit of a mission for itself to do. And then past that, once we get the Welder Beast to do a little bit of this stuff, we will still have a little bit more that needs to get done with stuff like this, which I might end up doing off camera. Getting all these lights done and stuff like that. Actually, you know what? I might do the welding off camera because I do want to do one other big thing in this episode, and that is working on some sort of ice base over there. So I think we're going to shift gears from working on this wind stuff to working on the ice base. And then off camera, maybe I'll get all this like grunt work done. Put on some music and weld up all these blocks right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go work on a little ice base. So for the ice base, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with this thing, the Welder Beast. And what are we gonna wanna bring with us? So I know for a fact that we're gonna wanna bring a hydrogen tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a full hydrogen tank on there. We're gonna wanna bring a cargo container of the large variety. So I'll go ahead and throw one of those on there, you know, for the ice and such. We're gonna wanna bring drills. I'll get those separately, I think. We're gonna want to bring a piston. Okay, so let's bring like 2 of everything here. Let's hop inside here real quick. Let's press G, not G, let's press I. Let's go to our welder cargo. And I want to first go ahead and empty the welder cargo because I don't want to bring all this stuff that I don't necessarily need here with us. So let's start by doing 1 right there. So that's gotten all the stuff that we need from our build planner. Let's go back in our build planner and grab some conveyors. I'm gonna go with the main conveyor junction as well as some drills. We'll grab a drill right there. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and do a control mouse or a control click for that. Okay, do I need anything else? I don't know that I do. I think I've grabbed pretty much everything that I need. So the only thing I'll grab more of is gonna be probably steel plates, which I feel like we've taken all of them. Yeah, we stole all of our steel plates. Okay, that's probably fine. We'll need to grab more iron at some point as well. All right, I think that's gonna be okay. Let's go ahead and press number 7 and let's start heading out to that little base over there. And unfortunately, we cannot refuel on our main base because it's out of ice entirely, which is why we're building this in the first place. So our ship is setting out with 75% hydrogen instead of 100, which should be okay. Now I'm gonna fly pretty high here as I go past that base on our bottom right because I don't want to get aggroed by it, which should be fine. I'll just fly by it. Oh, actually, I'll fly to the left side here as well as we go. So we're going high and we're going left, but we don't have to deal with it. And it's shenanigans over there. And if we run out of stuff, we can always go over to that big base decommission area or that small base decommission area in front of us as well. So we have options for if we need to go grab more steel plates. I should have grabbed an O2H2 generator, but you know what? This base might have one. Just occurred to me I should be very careful as I'm going down because the ship is quite heavy. I don't want to accidentally smash it into the ice here because ice is not soft. I almost said ice, unlike water, is not soft, but no, water's not soft either. Water is fairly hard. Okay, what have we here? Well, we have the base that we conquered a couple episodes back, of course. But what remains on here? I don't remember what we left behind and what we took with us. So let's come in for a landing. And I might just land it outside here instead of connecting it. Okay, let's go ahead and press that for dampeners off. And let's get to work. So we're not gonna do anything crazy here. We have an O2H2 generator, I'm pretty sure. Is that what's up here, right here? Yeah, we do have an O2H2 generator that we can turn on. It probably has ice in it. Yeah, it does already have a little bit of ice in it. And then what do we have in here? Some other materials we can work with. Perfect. Okay, so we do have a pretty good starter little area here. Yeah, a bunch of materials in there too. Awesome. So what we're gonna do is essentially create a rotating ice drill, and it's gonna be probably over here. And it's not gonna be too complex, just literally a rotating ice drill is all it's gonna be. That has spawned like at the top of the mountain. That's kind of cool. It looks like it's doing evasive maneuvers, so it doesn't run into the mountain there. Okay. So I think the way we're gonna do this, these are all heavy armor, so we have a lot of materials in them.
Full.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and mine a little bit of this. And let's start with a connection that connects these two, I think, first of all, because that's gonna be probably important. So we have our conveyors here. Let's grab some blocks and plop that like that. And then we'll do a curvy piece going over to this one right here. So there we go. And actually, instead of this, let's do a T-junction. I think that'll make a little more sense. It'll save us some stuff too. Okay, so let's go ahead and build those up. There's our T-junction, and then here is going to be our little curved block. Now these might have already been connected, by the way. I don't know if they connect through that. Yeah, okay, so they were already connected, but it's fine. I'm happy connecting them a little bit further. Because what I'm gonna do right here is something that is maybe a little interesting. I'm gonna try an idea. I'm gonna start by going out, or actually no, instead I'm gonna do a advanced rotor right here. There we go, so let's grab all the blocks for those. So my idea is kind of interesting. So what I wanted to do is build just like basically a rotary drill, but I also want it to be very easily movable. So I would like it to be on this giant swivel that will basically allow it to swivel anywhere around here whenever it needs to. So if it runs out of stuff to mine straight down there, it'll come back up, swivel a little bit, and then go down and pretty much do that. And I could set that up to a timer. That wouldn't be a horrible idea. I just don't have any idea how I would do that logistically. How high do I want this to be, I wonder? Let me think about this for a second. That's a piston. That's another piston. I would love for it to be able to go down a little further. I think something like that should be good. So let's remove this and then do a curve down. All right, this is the drilly thing. It's basically just a drill that's gonna go straight down. It's got 3 pistons, so it can go quite deep. And then I don't know how, basically I can set this up on timers if I want to, so it'll start its down process. And then eventually after a certain amount of time, it can come back up, move, go down. I don't know, that would be difficult to set up on timers. I'd have to do a little bit of testing for that for sure, but I think it's possible. Okay, let's try and weld up all this stuff. Now where are you? Oh, you're a tree. That just looks like a person watching me. It's very creepy. Actually, a lot of people watching me now that I look at it. But let's hop inside here and see if we can build up all this stuff from this ship, the Wildebeest. So if we can, this should work out pretty well. And so what I wanted to do, I talked about it a little bit earlier in the series. What I wanted to do was do something like this, but kind of a dumber version of it, maybe that doesn't swivel around so much, and do that for the other ores. So we would pretty much have one of those things that we could plop on an ore thing. It'd be like a vehicle, and then we could come back and we could come back and check on it, grab all the ores and stuff. We could probably run out of steel plates here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this thing does require a couple more steel plates than I have, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and land here again. And let's see if we can get a couple steel plates, because I think most of the steel plates are in here. Yeah, we have a lot of steel plates in there. The problem is these require like 300 steel plates each or something like that. So, but we should be able to get most of this done. Worst case, we'll just head back with the Wildebeest and grab some more steel plates from the main base. I think, yeah, it's only the steel plates that we're missing. But we got all that stuff in our build planner. Let's see what we can grab. Yeah, we can grab most of it there. Okay, there's one singular drill. Let's see if we can get the others. I don't know that we can. We probably can get at least one line of these drills. And technically we don't need this many drills as well, if I'm being honest. We could just do with like a vertical line like that and it'll still collect all the stuff. So maybe we do that to save on drill needs. We'll just go ahead and remove these. All right, we're only missing those steel plates. I think we should be able to grab all of them here.
Fuel low.
Our fuel's low. It's okay. It's not really okay, actually. We need to somehow...
Fuel critical.
Well, up here. Okay. How does one... Actually, I think I should be able to put it in here. If I take my stuff here, throw them in there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, we're good. Life has never been so good. Okay. Can I build these guys? Almost. Just need a couple more steel plates on this and we'll be good. There we go. There's that last drill right there. So now we should be able to pretty easily grab ice from this thing, just with that. And that should be fine against that as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in rotor lock, which should be fine. And then let's go ahead and turn this on. So we'll give it a rotor velocity of like this. Make sure, by the way, that it's sharing inertia tensor, and then same with this guy, share inertia tensor. Same with this guy, share inertia tensor, and same with this guy, share inertia tensor. Okay. So with those guys all, with that rotating, I should be able to give this a very, very slow descent speed, and it should start, you know, doing the thing. Okay, so let's go in here. Actually, let me make a little control panel, a little control station. I'm gonna remove these for now. This is gonna turn into our little control station. And you know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do. I'm not gonna make it fully automatic because I think that's probably too much time to think about how that's gonna work. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm just gonna have this control station do it. So we'll have a start button, which sends this basically down. It gives it a certain speed and stuff like that. We'll have a stop button. Then we'll have a shift button. So if I press this, it'll go up, shift, and go down. It'll start again, basically. So go up, shift, go down. That's what I think we're gonna do. Yeah. So if I want to do that, I'm gonna need some timer blocks. Which means I'm gonna want to remove these guys so I can put timer blocks there. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna put my timer blocks like back here, somewhere nice and safe. Let's go ahead and remove that. And I think I've just disconnected these grids, but that should reconnect them there. Let's go ahead and remove this. And I'm gonna build up a little bit of an exterior for this guy. There we go, something like that. so it's a little bit safer, and I can put my blocks somewhere. All right, check that out right there. We now have a new entrance into this area. This is gonna be our little control room. I'm gonna put that back right there because we're gonna put our timer blocks all the way down here where they're nice and safe. Okay, so let's grab a couple timer blocks. Timers, boom, right there. And we're gonna go with I want a timer block for start, I want a timer block for stop, and I want an event controller. Okay, so start, stop, event controller. So the event controller is basically gonna auto stop it if we have too much, you know, too much power, too much ice rather. So I don't know that we have all the stuff for this because this is gonna, oh no, this doesn't require any detector components. Never mind, I thought it did. Okay, well let's grab all the stuff for this then. All right, I'll go ahead and paint them the appropriate color. So green is gonna be for start and red is gonna be for stop. Just so we know which one is which. And then the, I'll paint the event controller stop too, because it's technically an event controller to tell it when to stop. Okay, so event controller, we have mining start, mining stop, and mining stop event controller. Okay. Okay, so we've got start, we've got stop, and we're gonna have pivot. I haven't set up pivot yet, but if I do stop, yeah, it stops. And if I do start, it starts, but I think it's going down a little bit too quickly. So let me go ahead and stop it. Oh shoot, it doesn't stop the pistons. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, back up here, set up actions, pistons. I would like to set velocity to 0. Okay, so now stop should actually stop appropriately. But I think the pistons are a little bit too fast when we're starting. Okay, let's try this. Start. I wanna see if this is able to do a full rotation without having trouble. It's currently set to only like 0.2. So... it's gonna have a little bit of trouble, isn't it? Okay, let's go ahead and stop it. Okay, now it should be a little slower. It's still gonna have a little bit of trouble. Well, this comes where our next script is gonna come from. I want a reset button too. That's just gonna bring it back to the top, basically. So let's get a little reset button in here. All right, we now have a reset one. All this is gonna do is like set the piston back up to max. So if I go to my timer, reset, that will be on this last one right here. So if I trigger that, that's just gonna bring everything up to the top. So then we can hit it again if we wanna test how fast this actually goes down. Which looks like it goes down very, very slowly, which I'm happy with. I want it to go down very, very slowly. All right, the last thing we need is our pivot, which is gonna be pretty simple. The pivot is going to enable our reset first, which is gonna bring it back up. Then it's going to unlock this and let it move just a tiny bit. And then it's going to put it down. So it needs probably 3 timers. So 1 to go up, 1 to go over, and 1 to go down. Oh gosh, is everything full of ice now? I just got a message that I wasn't able to deposit something. I bet you it's all full of ice. Yeah, it is. Oh no. Okay, whoops. Let's go ahead and put it inside here then. Okay, there we go. 3 timers for our pivot option, and I'm gonna get them blue so that we know that these are kind of together. And then I'll go back to my main color here that we were working with. Okay, so these are gonna be pivot 1, pivot 2, and pivot 3. So let me grab my timer. So the pivot's gonna be pretty simple. It's gonna start by resetting. Then it's gonna call timer pivot 2. We're gonna start that. Then timer 2 is going to do the turn. All right, I think I've got everything on the pivot timer set up. So what it does is this one right here, all it does is does the reset pivot, or the reset timer, which is right there. Then it waits like 5 seconds or something. Then it calls this one, which sets this to move over a little bit, which calls this one, which sets it to stop and then start the process. So let's see if it actually works. So let's say that I want to put it on this one. So let's go timer. Let's get our pivot timer 1. Trigger now. Perfect. Okay, so pivot. Let's say I want to pivot right now. So we start with bringing it up. Give it a few seconds. It'll start going over. Okay, it's going that way. That's fine. 2, 3. Okay. And then it's going to start the process. In 10 seconds probably, because I told it to start the start process, and it probably has a 10-second timer. So I think I'm fine with that. I'm gonna run down to the start process though, and I'm gonna give it a slightly less crazy, I'll give it a 2-second window instead. I think that's okay. All right, I'll turn that off as well because it's currently maxed out our our containers. So yeah, give me 1 second as well. I'm gonna put some names on these, some labels. All right, there we go. We have them all labeled now. So we have stop, start, pivot, and reset right here, making it very easy to actually set, to know which one is doing what. So what I want to do as well while we're at it is I'd like to grab, well, we don't have any space to put these. So I think what I probably need to do before we do anything, and the sun's going down, which usually signals the end of an episode. We are kind of getting to that point. But before we do anything else, I want to put in a, I want to put in a hydrogen tank. So I feel like that's going to be important to have on this base. So what I'll do is I think I don't want to put it like right next to all these things, just in case they blow up. What I'll do is I'll remove that guy and replace it with a T-junction. Let's see if I have stuff. Yeah, okay, so I had enough for that. And then I'll go out a little bit and then I'll do a hydrogen tank. That would make a little more sense. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Here's what I'm gonna do. Let's designate an area as an area that this thing cannot go. And I think we're gonna designate that as the area behind. So anything back here will be an area that that cannot be harmed by the thing right there. And I think that makes a little sense. There we go. I think we're gonna do it like this. So this will have a minimum and a maximum, and the maximum here is gonna be what's it at right now? 18. So the maximum is gonna be 80, like 160. All right, there we go. So we can go from 150, which should be about like there, to negative 150, which hopefully should be about right there as well. So then we'll have this area, so we can set up anything we want to in here, and we can also like put some hydrogen tanks out here, which would be nice. So let's see if we can get all this stuff welded up. It's a lot of stuff, admittedly, but we'll try our darndest. Shouldn't be too bad. We did bring a lot of this stuff anyway, so I'd be surprised if we had a lot of trouble. There is the conveyor junction, maybe, sort of, yeah. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get some of this stuff as well. And the idea, of course, is that we'll just put a hydrogen tank on top of that, and that should let us offload a lot of this ice pretty quickly. The hydrogen tank might require a trip or two. Or maybe we'll just do it with the wildebeest. Actually, why didn't we use the wildebeest in the first place for all this? I don't know, but hydrogen tank, let's get that. Oh, we have a lab hydrogen tank. We're not gonna use that one right now. I don't think that's as big as this one. It's a smaller version of it. So let's grab whatever this is gonna give us. And then try and plop one of these right there. And let's see if the wildebeest can actually weld that up. So hopefully we won't have to worry about the whole drill coming in and trying to smash this. Okay, the wildebeest cannot weld up the full thing. What are we missing? Large steel tubes, steel plates, okay. Well, let's see if I can right-click that and then get the rest of that stuff from in here. Large steel tubes might be on there, I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, I think they are. Just 2 large steel tubes is all we're missing. Perfect. Okay, so now with that built up, you should be charging. You're not. You know what? You might not be charging because the hydrogen engine is stealing all the power. You're completely out of steel plates, unfortunately. I bet you're not. Yeah, actually, you are slowly charging. It does have 0.01%. Yeah, it is charging. It's just going very slowly. You can probably turn off. And then what I would like to do here is something like, give me a couple O2H2 generators, maybe. These also require large steel tubes. So let's see if this has any more of them on base to support it. It looks like it does. So there are a couple more O2H2 generators to help us out. It looks like those are immediately getting to work. Very good. So this is gonna start charging up a little bit quicker as well. So this is good because this means we should always have a lot of ice on us. And what I'd like to do as well is while we have this area, let's go ahead and try and build a large tank. A large one of these. Okay, now that we have that place, let's see if the wildebeest is able to weld that up. Are you able to weld up this guy? Now we brought enough for this, but we've also done a lot of other work, but it looks like it is able to weld up that. Very nice. Ow, that was a bit of a hard hit. Let's go ahead and park there. And I want to see if I can now connect this with just a normal block. So let's see if you will allow me to do that. I think it will. Very nice. Okay, so now this can start accruing ice as it needs to. And it's got 69K already. That's probably from those drills. But I can now turn it on as well and allow it to do its thing. So let's just let it go. And while we're at it, maybe build up another O2H2. There we go, another O2H2 in the house. And that O2H2 has ice. Very nice. All right. So this is the whole idea. This is pretty much how we want this thing to go. So we're gonna have that thing be running consistently, and whenever we need to, or whenever we feel like it, we can fly a ship over here, grab all the ice without having to do all the mining, and then we can go back over to our main base, having collected a bunch of ice. So this is sort of just automatically doing that for us. Now, getting some lights on here would be nice, but I think we've just about outstayed our welcome for this episode. So it's about time we end this one. Having worked on a lot of the stuff over on the main base with the towers. So we have the wind towers rather looking very nice. But then in addition to that, we have this new ice base out here looking very nice as well. It'll look even nicer once I remove these blocks because we don't necessarily need them. Yeah, there we go. All right, it's fully set up with sort of, it's not autonomous, but it's got a button panel that you can click to make it, you know, change positions, which I think is a really big step up in the right direction. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this episode. We're inching closer and closer to the time where we're going to be going to space. And with all this ice, we should be prepared. So get ready for that. And if you like this episode, please go ahead and hit the like button. Your comments and your suggestions down below in the comment section for things you wish to see in the next episode. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and also click the notification bell if you want to receive notifications for videos. But if you don't, it's okay. You know, I definitely understand the notification bell can get a little bit annoying sometimes. I don't know why I'm dissuading you guys from clicking it, but now I've been there, getting emails when videos come out. It's not for everybody. But anyways, yeah, that's going to be the end of this one. If you'd like to become a YouTube member or Patreon, there are links below in the description for those things where you can get early access to videos. You can get a shout out at the end of videos for some of the tiers. And the people we're going to shout out at the end of this video are Tyler Hedstrom, Colin Graves, and Stellaris Ignis. Thank you very much for your support, everybody. And with that, I will see you all in the next episode of Space Engineers Survival.